Fake animal rescues. There are very few things happening right now on YouTube more vile than this. People staging dangerous and deadly situations to put animals in, all for the sake of money, views, and praise. In my previous 2 videos, we've exposed 10 channels for following these heinous trends, 8 of which being run by these 2 men, working as part of their own twisted, fake animal rescue ring. And truthfully, I thought these channels were as bad as it gets. Surely they were just a few thorns in an otherwise pure genre of content. But that was wishful thinking, as in the past few weeks, I've fallen back into the animal rescue genre as a whole to see just how deep-seated these fake channels really were. And what I found was, quite honestly, crushing, as I realized that what we're dealing with here is far bigger and more brutal than I ever could have imagined. To start, I think it's important to share the fallout of my latest video on this topic, which, despite getting over 1 million views and thousands of you letting me know that you had reported each of the channels we discussed, YouTube did not take any action. Our voices went completely unheard. However, we did leave somewhat of a mark. Out of the 9 channels, 8 of them have changed their names, with most privating a slew of videos in an attempt to hide their wrongdoings. A move done so that when all this controversy becomes forgotten, they can put their videos back up and continue uploading like nothing happened. So just for safe measure, I want to make sure you all know the new names of these absolutely disgusting channels. Happy Dog is now Puppy Love. The Rescue Journey TV is now Pets Kittens. Yorquy has become Love Pets. Pablo Zito has changed to My Kittens. Love Rescue Animals has stayed the same. The Rescue Journey is now... And despite privating all of their videos at one point, as I announced on Twitter, many are unfortunately back live again. Animal Lighthouse has changed its name to this, while Little Furry Friends has become this. And Animal Safeguard is now... And if you notice, a lot of these channels have been using names in other languages to make them practically unsearchable to my audience. So just to make it easier, they'll all be linked in the bio. It's very clear that we scared them, but I'm sure at this point their fear has died down a bit, as it's become clear that their channels are protected on this platform. And YouTube refusing to take action has not only reinforced their behaviors, but it's allowed it to continue on a deadly path. In that last video, I warned that things would likely just keep getting worse if nothing was done, and unfortunately, I was right. Since then, the channel formerly known as Yorquy, which is now Love Pets, has killed one other kitten. And brutally injured another, to the point where it's almost certain it didn't survive. And both of these videos were monetized. Meanwhile, the remaining channels continue to cause more life-threatening injuries to a multitude of other animals. It's exactly what we thought would happen. It only got worse. And in fact, it's still getting worse in many other ways too, because not only are these channels still here and thriving, but there are new channels emerging, jumping on this exploitative trend, finding new ways to taint animal rescue content. Now, the animal rescue genre itself is quite honestly a goldmine. This type of content is designed to go viral, and it certainly helps that nearly all of these viral videos are monetized. It really is one of the quickest ways to make an obscene amount of money on YouTube, which for legitimate rescuers is an incredible thing, but this has also left the genre wide open for exploitation, as evident from the channels we've discussed in previous videos. And we know from the past few months that YouTube is blatantly ignoring these obvious fake channels. So not only is this type of content an easy way to get rich quick, it's also going completely unchecked, making it primed for horrible, money-hungry people to exploit at their will, which is leading to a flood of channels who are now changing their content to these fake rescues, with one example being Rescue Dog Cats, where this man has been posting videos for the past 5 months, with a lot of his content being centered around making horrendously ugly art pieces. Like this aquarium, for example, that seems to be specifically designed for the sole purpose of making your fish epileptic. And understandably, the views were very low. So in an attempt to push off his content, he has jumped on the bandwagon and began faking his own animal rescues, with all of this happening just in the past 2 days of writing this. And if you're wondering what evidence I have against this channel, just watch a clip. Yes, his acting may be even worse than his art. And judging by him hearting this comment, he isn't even trying to hide this scam. And normally I would say he should stick to what he was doing before, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that was his calling either. Now, just at a glance, it's very obvious to me that this guy's videos are staged, but there's been a last-minute development that actually proves this, as in his most recent video, he rescued the same kitten as he did in a video prior. And just look at what he did to this kitten. He stuck it on some kind of glue trap, and just imagine the pain of being ripped off of this. It is straight up torture at the hands of this man. But this is something that I'm seeing so much of. Channels jumping on this get-rich-quick trend just in the past few days and weeks to kind of test the market. For example, Animal Rescue SK, a channel that used to post these kinds of videos. Has now done a 180 and is rescuing animals in more painfully obvious fake videos, resorting to rescuing the same cat on multiple occasions. And this shift just happened in the past week, because these channels are recognizing that this is where the money and the views are. Now, while we're on the topic of switching over to this genre, I want to show you the channel Pets Rescue, a channel that just a month ago had focused on restoration and art projects, but has recently switched over to rescuing animals. In looking at their videos briefly, I can't help but get the feeling that they're staged. The poor acting, the impossible situations. But is there any actual proof? Well, as it turns out, there is. When you click on this Pets Rescue channel, it links to another featured channel called Rescue Kitty, a notoriously fake channel that I've been investigating for about a month now, who has, like many others, used the same cat in multiple rescues. So that connection alone made me even more suspicious of this newly conformed Pets Rescue channel. So I kept digging, and what I found was another fake rescue ring. A ring that includes, of course, Rescue Kitty, as well as the channel Rescue Kitten, and yet another channel called Rescue Kitty. All in all, 3 brutally abusive channels, with each of their community tabs being filled with videos from the other channels, and Rescue Kitty even linking to the other channels on their homepage, much like Yorquy had done with their own ring. It's very clear that these channels are all connected. But where does this Pets Rescue fit in? Well, the proof comes from a video posted on October 2nd of 2020, where the person behind Pets Rescue miraculously saved a young kitten that was drowning in a lagoon. Meanwhile, just a few days before, the channel Rescue Kittens had saved their own kitten from drowning in a lake. But something interesting happens when you compare the 2 cats. Judging by its size and its incredibly unique pattern on its face, I think it's clear to say that this is the same cat, just in an entirely different video, on an entirely different channel. This shows us that Pets Rescue isn't just a random channel jumping on the fake rescue bandwagon like many others. This channel was a business move for the people behind Rescue Kitty to expand their own fake animal rescue ring, which is now up to 4 channels, each of which featuring their own disturbed treatments of kittens. So with all of this said, it's clear that not only are new people flocking into this easily exploited style of content, but those who already have established channels are branching out, setting up new channels to even further increase their revenue and their views. All of this points to the fact that this genre is expanding. The channels are multiplying and growing by the day, and if YouTube doesn't intervene and do something, new fake channels will just continue to emerge, leading to who knows how many deaths and catastrophic injuries to these innocent animals. Now, when I mentioned at the beginning of the video that things were only getting worse, it's not just because of all the new channels. It's also because of what the established channels are resorting to. When it comes to these animal rescue videos, the more extreme the situation, the more likely you are to go viral, which as we know has led to these channels staging incredibly dangerous and often deadly stunts. And when one of these fake rescues gets a ton of views, then other channels start performing that same fake rescue, leading many more animals to be put in deadly situations. But the issue is, when that type of rescue gets done by so many other channels, the market becomes saturated. Once you've seen a kitten stuck in a wheel a dozen times, it becomes less interesting to an unaware audience member, thus making it less likely for a new video performing that same rescue to go viral, as is the case with any other trend in any other genre. So when the views dry up, it causes these channels to try other dangerous rescues, with many going more extreme in an attempt to one-up themselves and everyone else in the genre, to chase this virality, until the next trend becomes overdone, and it's onto an even more deadly rescue, and the cycle starts all over again. This is most obviously seen with the snake rescues I've alluded to earlier. In my first video, we explored how the channel Happy Dog had staged 13 of these types of rescues in just a few months, because that's where the views were. But since then, this trend has now become old news, as everyone has seen puppies and kittens being rescued from snakes, and because of that the views have dried up completely, which has caused channels to push even more boundaries to try and get that next viral trend, with many of these channels now pretending to rescue different, more exotic animals from staged snake attacks, like the channel KH Survival Life, who has continued filming these snake attack videos, only this time they've staged these fights with turtles, Komodo dragons, and even alligators. And these are hardly rescues, as the videos simply show the two animals fighting, with many of these snakes being used in multiple videos, as well as the Komodo dragon, which has been featured plenty of other times throughout the page, showing us that they're clearly staging these scenes. It's become straight up animal fighting. You can't even call these rescues. But a few days ago this did change, as the man behind the camera intervened as a snake was attacking a group of guinea pigs, which honestly may be one of the most laughable fakes yet, as guinea pigs don't even exist in the wild anymore. And just the way he handles this guinea pig shows you just how little regard for these animals these supposed rescuers really have. So over the course of just about a month, this channel has cycled through 4 different types of animals that they're abusing, plus not to mention the different snakes that they're putting through this, all to find that next big video. And KH Survival Life is far from the only channel doing this. The channel Wilderness Like 2020 has resorted to rescuing a goat from a snake attack, and this wasn't a one-off thing. In fact, they've rescued the same goat on 11 different occasions, all in the span of just 1 week. No breaks in between these videos either, by the way, which just shows how shameless they've gotten. And of course, it's monetized. And then there's Wilderness Life, a channel who has resorted to staging attacks of snakes on baby ducks, chickens, and even eels. And this wilderness life channel is especially heinous, by the way, and it probably could warrant its own video. But all of this just shows that this genre of fake animal rescues is nowhere near stagnant. These channels are constantly trying to push things further and further, and they are willing to sacrifice any animal you could think of to get that next viral video. It's honestly one of the most dangerous cycles on YouTube right now, because this will keep getting worse and worse and worse. Because remember, these channels are all centered around money and views, so it's inevitable that they'll keep upping the danger of their rescues to reach peak virality until the torture almost can't get any worse. Now at this point in the video, I hope it's clear just how scary this situation is getting. This kind of content is growing in virtually every single way, and if things continue like this, the platform is going to be absolutely filled with people not just abusing animals, but torturing them and killing them too. And if you don't believe me, well, it's already happening. Because in reality, even right now, things are in a dire spot. This is no longer an issue with just a few channels to worry about. In fact, when researching for this video, I found 108 other fake animal rescue channels. 108. Just think about the pain that just one of these channels causes, and now multiply that by 108. It's got to the point where I'm thinking these fake channels are no longer the small minority, as I've actually found more of them than actual real animal rescuers. And there's no way for me to expose every single one I found in this video, so let me just share a few of the worst. The channel Love Animals US has taken the long-standing trend of saving an animal from the landfill to a whole new level, as this time, they've actually set the garbage in that landfill on fire with a kitten inside of it so they can pretend to rescue it. Meanwhile, the channel Pets Rescue Club has taken the trend of finding a baby animal in a bag alongside the road to the ultimate extreme, as they are not only tying these kittens and puppies up in these plastic bags, but they are then throwing these bags into water, trapping the animals in a plastic death trap, as they can do nothing but drown, as the bag slowly fills with water. And this trend aside, Pets Rescue Club has been responsible for the deaths of 5 puppies and kittens in the past month alone, making this one of the most deadly channels that I've stumbled upon. And they're just getting started too, as this channel is just 2 months old. But as sickening as these channels are, they have yet to do the recent trend that I personally find most twisted, with this specific rescue seeming to have started a few months back on the Rescue in Public channel. Now first I want to show you this video. It simply shows a cat lying on the street, seemingly suffering from something. And all things considered, there's no real indication that this video is fake, as it's straightforward and seems genuine, until we see the next video. A video so vile that I was left speechless, as what we see is the same exact cat, as evident from its unique facial markings. Only this time, the cat is dead. And not only is that cat dead, but it is completely buried in the ground, with only its head sticking out, its deceased eyes wide open, with red ants and other bugs crawling all over it. It's the same cat, and just a few days later it's found dead like this? It's obvious that the people behind this channel had buried this cat, likely after they had filmed that initial video, for them to come back and record. And I wish this was where this segment ended. But as I was doing some final research, I saw that the channel Rescue Kittens, that we had already discussed earlier, has now copied this rescue style. Only this time, the cat was alive when they found it. It's so twisted, and it's not even the only one, as the channel Monkey Monkey has done the same thing now. This is shaping up to be another big trend, and it's far more dangerous than many of the other rescues I've seen. And not to mention, it's probably the most obvious fake, as let's be real, this would never happen in real life. But this is the state of animal rescue content on YouTube. This is where it is now, and now just imagine it getting even worse, because it's inevitably going to. So all in all, here's what we're left with. The animal rescue genre is wide open for exploitation, given how unchecked and viral its content can be. And because of this, new channels are piling in droves, just to make a quick buck. And not only that, but established channels are also adding even more accounts to further expand their reach and their income. The number of these animal abusing channels is rising at a disturbing rate, and it's likely not going to slow down on its own. And not to mention the treatment of these animals is getting much worse, as these channels are constantly upping their abuse to make their rescues even more viral, something that will just continue happening as well. So in short, this problem is going to get much worse, and it's already horrible. So to the people behind these disgusting channels, I just want to know how you can live with yourselves with all that you're doing. And I'm sure your families must be so proud of you all for growing up to be professional animal abusers. Way to go. And if your channel wasn't exposed in this video, I just want you to know that it is on my list and you will be exposed soon. And I'm looking forward to it. And to the real animal rescuers out there, thank you. And please hang in there. I'm sorry these accounts have tainted the image of your work and this genre as a whole. And finally, to YouTube, please stop telling us to report these channels. We have, and nothing was done. And now there's just too many to report. This has become an overwhelming problem. This is not on us to fix. That responsibility falls on you. It is your job to fix this mess before things get even worse.